Welcome back to the Creative Hunter Podcast. Logan Romney here. This is episode 5, and it's crazy we've already gotten this far. It's been 5 weeks since I started doing this podcast. This episode is going to be really cool. I think a lot of you guys are actually going to really like this. It's quite a bit different than most podcasts out there. Last week, me and my buddy Jamin Davis went on a 7-day bear hunt in the backcountry of Idaho, and every night before bed we took 10 minutes, recorded a little segment of this podcast, just recapping the day, going over gear we used, what happened, and all the cool stuff that happened just on the hunt. So this podcast is just gonna, like, every 10 minutes is gonna go to the next day. It's pretty cool. It's just a recap of our whole hunt. I'm gonna have Jamin Davis on another podcast here in a few weeks, but I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. This hunt that we did, we filmed the whole thing. We had a couple sponsors on this hunt. We had Wilderness Athlete as a sponsor. Hardside Hydration was a sponsor. We also had a few kind of partial sponsors that sent us some gear to try out and get some photos of. We had Grakksaw sent us some boot dryers and some game bags, which I really loved, especially the boot dryers. I literally used them every night because we were trudging through snow and getting rained on a day or two out there. And we also had some gear sent to us by some other people, which is really awesome. Really grateful for it. Just kind of try some new stuff out, which I love to do. Try new stuff out and get some products, photos for people. We were testing out some optics from Hawk Optics, which I really liked so far. I like their rifle scope and their binos. But anyways, this hunt's going to be really cool. We're going to release the film here in a few months, but this is a cool little podcast episode just going over the whole thing and kind of recapping the whole hunt. So hope you guys enjoy Jamin Davis and I on this hunt, and we will see you guys at the end of the episode. All right, it is day 1 up here on the mountain. Me and Jamin are sitting here. We're in our sleeping bags, ready for bed, but we got to record some podcast here for you. We're going to kind of do like a recap of the day. So we got in here today, hiked up to a really nice basin that we actually hunted last year and found a couple nice bears. We got up here and we kind of stashed our camp because it's like on a flatter spot before the glassing knob. So we stashed camp and headed up to the glass knob, and for a couple hours we did not see anything, and I was kind of getting nervous because I'm like, dang, this sucks. There's other areas in this, like where we go, that are like a couple canyons over that are really good, but I kind of just wanted to come here because I knew there was we saw a big bear in here last year and we never killed him, so I thought maybe we could find him. But sure enough, we were glassing for like 3 hours, and Jamin spots the first bear. How was it, Jamin?
Yeah, no, it was pretty sweet to be able to find some bears right off the bat. So, yeah, like Logan had said, we had glassed for a bit, and then we kind of thought maybe we'd move somewhere else, and then that didn't work out, so we went back to our original spot and sat down. And a couple minutes later, as I was glassing this kind of ravine hillside right in front of us, it was kind of in the middle of the range where we were glassing and keeping our eyes on. I spotted a really nice blonde and reddish colored color phase black bear kind of in the middle of the hill. So we watched him for a while and kind of kept our eyes on him and kind of continued to look for other bears, and Logan ended up spotting an even bigger bear way up at the top.
Yeah, like we spotted Jamin spotted the bear, and then like, what was it, 10 or 20 minutes later, I spotted another, like a jet black way up high.
Yeah, he was way above the snow line.
Yeah,
super high.
Which is a big one. It was a big bear. We got some videos of him, but we only saw him for a little bit because we decided to go chase some bears.
Yeah, which ultimately later on we decided that maybe it wasn't the best play, but overall it went as well as it could have, second to killing a bear. But we worked our way down the draw, up the other side, keeping the hill between us and the bear, and dropped our packs, and we probably could have done a little bit more prep before we started our stalk on the bear, because we didn't check how wide the area where the bear was on. So by the time we popped out to kind of locate this bear, we were already well within range, and we were dangerously close.
Within like 200 yards for sure, like
yeah,
pretty close.
But if we had checked that with Onyx or whatever, we probably would have been a little bit more prepared. So lesson learned for next time.
Yeah. But. And what was our biggest mistake today is it was super, super windy, like all day. Like right now, we're sitting in the tent, it's calm as can be. But earlier today, it was so windy. It was like the wind would blow and it'd be freezing cold, and then it would stop for a couple minutes and it'd be like get so hot because the sun was out, and like it was kind of wild. And it was all over the place, like up and down and behind us and around, and we really miscalculated that, and that's what ended up blowing that blonde bear out is the wind swirled, because we were quiet enough. There's no way it hurt us, and it definitely didn't see us. We got a little video of it, but that wind just swirled and it took off right as we were getting on it to shoot it.
Yeah, I had about 3 more yards before I was going to be able to line up a shot, and just wind changed and it was over. It took off. So,
which is crazy. Bears have a really, really good sense of smell. So we were 200 yards away from that bear, and it easily smelled us. Like, even though the wind was kind of swirling back and forth, it just smelled us and took off. And we had that big black bear that I'd spotted. We knew right where he was at, and we kind of decided, well, maybe we could go try to find him too. The original plan was, let's try to kill this blonde bear and then go up and kill this black bear, or get 2 for 1. And it sounded like a fun plan. We were going to be the next Gritty. They have a couple films where they kill like 3 bears in one canyon in the same like 20 minutes, but yeah, we're not that good yet, I guess. So
maybe another like 15 years.
Probably. Yeah. Anyways, so we went to try to find that black bear, and we could not find him. He either smelled us from a long ways off, or he just wandered off into a different draw, and we just never saw him.
I'm thinking he smelled us because our wind was going right up that hill.
I know. He probably did. It really was like a bummer that we got in there and the wind was just terrible. And looking back now, it's like, well, we probably either just should have waited a day, maybe tried to hunt them tomorrow, but just because of how windy it was, and it's a lesson learned now. Like, now we know, all right, if it's that windy, we're not gonna stalk on a bear across the canyon, because it's probably not gonna work out. And it's not a big deal. We still had a good time. It's the first day. We literally hiked in here this morning, and we're finding bears. So I'm not like super disappointed, although I was a little disappointed for sure when we like put stalks on 2 bears and neither one of them worked out. So, but I'm pretty stoked with how the day went.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a really good day. Weather was, other than the wind, was really good, and
yeah.
I mean, we saw bears, so can't really ask for more. We're out here hunting, just hiking the mountains. It's been a good day. So
yeah, it's been
tomorrow.
Good. Right now, we were hiking through a little bit of snow, so I got the Grakksaw boot dryers in my boots. Currently, we We have the Seek outside. It is the Guardian, and it's got the stove. So I have the stove in here as well. So we cranked the stove up when we got in the tent. Got the boots drying with the boot dryers and the Dark Energy Spectre panel. And then just chowed down on some freeze-dried meals. But we have the Alpen fuels for all of our breakfasts and the cookies, which are like so good. The cookies are like the best treat to have on the mountain.
Already destroyed one package.
Yeah, we already ate one of them, and it's day one, and I don't think we have enough for one for every day. So we're gonna have to ration, but
That's going to be difficult.
it's gonna be difficult. They might run out here soon, maybe tomorrow or something. But
I have at least 3 packages left. So.
okay, so we're good
We've
for a
got
second. I know I
3
have at
days.
least. I packed at least 2, so we
Okay.
have like 5
All right.
for 6.5 days. So we'll see, but it's good. The plan for tomorrow is obviously we'll update you tomorrow night. But the plan for tomorrow is we're gonna go glass up on the knob in the morning till about noon and see if we can see anything. If those bears are still close by. If not, they probably went around the mountain, and so if we haven't seen anything by noon, we're gonna move around the mountain to a different glassing knob, not terribly far, and glass from there and try to locate them on the other side of the mountain. And hopefully we can find them. If we end up not really being able to find them, or if they're like way too far away or hard to spot, we may go down to a different canyon, kind of pack up camp, move for a few days, and try to kill a bear somewhere else, and then come back in here once it's kind of settled down. Because we did walk through a bunch of the spots that they were hanging out in, and I've heard the bears, once you kind of walk around through kind of some of their stuff, they don't really hang out there for a day or two. And it makes sense because their smell's so good. So that's kind of the plan tomorrow. I mean, we're hoping to find them and in a killable spot and be able to get them. But you never know. So that's what we're going to do. It's a good day, and we're going to get some sleep right now, get up in the morning, and go kill some bears. All right, it is day 2, and it is the end of day 2, so we are in bed, and we are both really tired right now. Jamin just took his unplug from Wilderness Athlete. Feeling pretty tired, eh?
Yeah, that stuff works like a charm.
Yeah, so recap today, super quick. We got up and it was just clearest blue, like perfect day, blue skies. And we got up to the glass and knob nice and early and glassed for a while and just did not see anything. And we were glassing the same hillside we glassed yesterday when we bumped those bears. So we kind of assumed they went around kind of the only place they could have gone, really, around the other side of the hill. So about 11 o'clock, we packed up, dropped all the way down to the bottom and up the other side to get to a vantage point to glass the back side of the hill that we were looking at, and ended up glassing for a long time till what was it? It was like 3:30, and we finally spotted Blondie, is what we're calling this bear. It's a super light colored, like brown color face black bear, like super cool looking. And I think it's one of the same bears that we saw last year in this exact same spot. And it grew up a lot, so it's a lot bigger this year. Spotted it, and it's one of the ones that Jamin spotted him yesterday, so it was Jamin's bear to kill. It was 8. Let's see, it was like 9:50 when we spotted it, so it was a long ways away. But we kind of found that we could go down the ridge a ways, and the closest we could possibly get was 7:50. So, Jamin, tell me about the rest of that. What happened there?
Yeah, so we found a nice spot to get down and lay prone, and dry fired a bunch of times. This was the farthest I've ever shot. I'm not necessarily a huge rifle hunter, so wanted to make sure I was comfortable. Didn't want to rush anything, and we sat there for quite a while, waiting and just kind of being patient, making sure everything was set. And so get ready, load around in, and go to take the first shot, and everything felt really good. Pulled the trigger as I came to the bottom of my breath. Heart rate was pretty low. Everything felt super good. Pulled the trigger, and I hit way right. I mean, I was like feet to the right. So the bear ended up, it just kind of spooked a couple feet and then went back to feeding. So we kind of were like debated whether or not to take another shot. And I was like, well, it must have been me. I must have screwed something up. I was like, let's reposition. Let's find a new place, get the bipod on the ground, because we had it on the backpack. So we put it on the ground, moved a bunch of rocks around, just made sure everything was super stable. And the second shot was just rock solid. It was just what am I blanking? What's the crosshair was just right where we wanted it, just a couple inches in front of the vitals to account for the spin, and pull the trigger, and hit a couple feet again, this time over the back of the bear, a couple feet to the right again. So at this point I was like, it's got to be me. I must have totally screwed this up. And I was like, Logan, let's kill this bear. Go for it, man. Like, this is, you kill it. Because it just spooked again and then went right back to feeding. So, and Logan kind of took the reins. And do you want to tell him what happened, or you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going for just a sec. You can finish it, and I'll talk about it.
All right. So we switch spots, get everything set up. We wait. This time it had dropped even a little bit closer. So maybe it was 7:30 or 7:40, a little bit closer than it was before, but not terribly. Same distance, basically. And get everything set up. We're recording, get it in the spotter, recording on the phone there. And Logan lines up, takes his time, and takes a shot. Bear's standing still, perfectly broadside to us. I mean, couldn't have asked for a better shot opportunity. Out of the three, all three were amazing. He shoots again, and this is our third shot, and it hits the same distance to the right and just a little bit up. So we were feet off every shot. If we were shooting at paper, it probably would have grouped. But ultimately, we think that the scope somehow got knocked around a little bit, and we were not hitting where we were aiming. So that was pretty disappointing, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, so a few things about it. I've shot long distances quite a bit, and it's not that I don't seek out the long distances, but this was just a situation where it was literally impossible to get any closer. And so it was a shot that I was like, well, there's zero wind, all the conditions are perfect to shoot long distance right now. The sun was setting, thermals weren't really going very hard, so there was all the pieces lined up. There wasn't really anything that was making me nervous about shooting this far, and so I thought it'd be just fine. And I have my Hornady app that I use, so I put in all the ballistics and the distance, and everything, and just dialed it exactly what it says. And I've like shot at the range out to 1,000 with this gun, and the up and down has always been like perfect. Even with this, I put this new Hawk optic scope on it a couple months ago, and shot it with that, and shot 300 quite a bit, and then out to, like I said, like out to 1,000, and every time the up and down is just perfect when I dial with the app. So I don't know if like I think the gun is just off, which sucks. When we got to the trailhead yesterday morning, we shot the gun at a target at 100 yards, and it was dead on. So I'm not sure if it's like what the deal is. I think it just got knocked off, which I think the rifle never got hit hard or dropped or anything, but who knows. So we're going to head down to the trailhead in the morning, double check the rifle, shoot it at some paper targets at like 200 yards, 300 yards, maybe up to 400, and just make sure that it is dialed. And I mean, there's a weird chance that maybe there was just some weird wind in the canyon that we didn't even account for or know about that was causing us to miss. But at 750 yards, missing by like 3 or 4 feet, like that's just insane. So I think the gun's off. I think that we're gonna go down and we're gonna find that it's not shooting super straight. So, I mean, it's a bummer that we didn't get this bear, because just it's a beautiful bear. We spooked it right out of that canyon. But on the bright side, like, I mean, I'm not really one to whenever I shoot long distance, I never say like, oh well, I'm either gonna hit it or I'm gonna miss it. Like I that's not the way that I look at it. Like if I shoot a long ways, I want to know that I'm gonna hit it. And but we did miss, and they're all clean misses, which is good because we don't want to wound an animal, but at the same time, like it's still painful to shoot that far to not end up hitting it, just because of how much preparation goes into it, and just having that happen, it's not fun for anyone, and it could happen to anyone too. Like we're not the only people this has happened to, so it's not like a big deal. We're not really getting too down about it. It's we're just moving on and just gonna keep grinding with the process and finding more bears and getting as close as we can, of course, and taking our best shots and making the best judgments. So tomorrow we're gonna pack up camp, head down to the trailhead, and actually head up a different canyon and see if we can find any bears up in a different spot. We got about 2.5 miles to the trailhead, and then we're gonna hike in about 3.5 miles to our next spot. So lots of walking tomorrow. Luckily, it's all on trails, so it's not gonna be too bad, but it's gonna be a good day. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow night, and we'll hopefully have a great day tomorrow. All right, it is day 4, and you're probably wondering why we skipped day 3, and let me tell you why. Well, let's do this. Let's recap day 3 real quick. So, we got up on day 3, and we decided to move camp, and we had a long ways to move, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, it was almost 6 miles, just under.
Yeah,
in total.
We had to go down and shoot the rifle, and we got it redialed in. It really wasn't that far off, but at 700 yards, it was really off. So, we got it dialed back in to where it should be, and then we headed back up a different canyon to see what we could find up that canyon.
And we restocked too on
food.
Food,
We restocked on food too. so we had enough food now to last us till the end of the hunt. So we went up the canyon. We had to do a couple creek crossings, so we like just took our boots and our pants off, put on sandals and Crocs, and crossed the river. And then we ended up getting up. We put our camp where I wanted to camp. We ended up getting up there a little later in the afternoon than we wanted to, but we thought we'd go look for some bears. And we hiked up the trail like about 2.5 more miles, and we found another person was camped up there where we wanted to hunt. And they were definitely hunting because of all the gear that they had and stuff. We never saw them, but we found a tent and all their stuff. And so I was like, well, there's more canyons down kind of by where we just stashed our camp, so let's go down there and look. On our way back to camp, I had a thought, let's go up to this glassing knob that's above camp. I've never been up to there, and I feel like it'd be a good spot to go spend the evening. We had like maybe 3 hours left, 2.5 hours left, 3 hours left of light.
Yeah, I think we headed up there a little before 5.
Yeah, so we had like 3.5 hours of light to work with.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So we started off the trail to go up to this glassing knob, and it turned out to be like so steep.
And a lot longer than we had anticipated, too.
So steep and way longer. And like both of us were just scraping the bottom of the barrel and like like telling ourselves the craziest things to make it up this mountain, because like it was way bigger than we thought. And at this point we already hiked like 8 miles or something, or even more than that, like 9 or 10. So like we were like wasted.
Yeah.
Going
And
up
then
this hill.
plus we found another hunter. We didn't know how long they'd been in there for, and that can be a little demoralizing, I guess. And I know I was kind of like, man, this sucks. We're gonna have to go find someplace else to hunt. Like where we plan to go is already spoken for. So I was definitely a little bummed, and then to go climb this hill, it was yeah, I guess you can continue where you were going, but it was definitely difficult.
Yeah, it was tough. And obviously the thoughts were in my head like, oh, we're going to get to the top of this hill and maybe there's a bear up there. But I'm like, that in the back of your head, you're like, the chances of that are like so small. Like there's no way it's going to happen. But I was thinking maybe we'll glass up a bear or two like way far away, and we can like, it'll kind of help our plan for tomorrow. We get up there, and there's like some rocks you have to climb at the very top, and we're kind of climbing along the rocks on the ridge. Jamin's behind me, and he's like, hey, turn around, I want to take a picture of you on the ridge. So I turn around, and as I'm turning, I like glance down the hill into the canyon we just popped over, and there's a bear down at the bottom feeding on some grass. And I was like, no way. And I was like kind of freaked out. I was like, dude, there's a bear. It's like, let's I didn't know what to do. So like I ran down, we like glassed this bear for a little bit. Cool, like dark brown bear. Super cool looking bear.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had to make sure it wasn't a sow with cubs, and so we watched it for a second. We determined it's definitely not. So it was 325 yards, and I literally just shot my rifle that morning at 300 yards, and it was dialed. So I just cranked the turret up to a 3 MOA is what I have for 300 yards. And then got all the cameras set up, and then I shot and smoked that sucker. Just dropped it. He rolled down the hill, and it was a perfect shot. Couldn't have been any better, honestly.
We were pretty psyched.
We were so excited because we had just like gone through the worst hike of the whole trip so far, the worst day of hiking, and we just smoked a bear. And it was just like a crazy roller coaster of like emotion that afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So we got down to it, took a bunch of pictures and stuff and some videos and everything for the film and for some of the sponsors, and then cut it up. It was in like the bottom of the steepest like little canyon there. There's a creek running down the bottom of it. And I knew that we couldn't pack it straight out the bottom because it was going to be so thick and steep and nasty. So we just determined that we'd have to side hill around. We had to cross the big river to get back to camp. And so, the big river doesn't have a lot of good spots to cross, but the best spots are where the trail crosses. And so we'd have to side hill like twice as much to get to the spot where the good crossing is. And I decided, instead of trying to just guess down in the bottom if we could find a spot to cross, we just do the extra mile and get to the good crossing, which was a good idea because in the morning we kind of went and looked at the river where we could have crossed, and it was like no way we were crossing it. So
It was probably almost twice as wide too, as where we ended up crossing too.
yeah, so we start side hilling. It was this like super steep the whole time, but at first it was like going through these jack pines that were super thick forever.
What time did we leave?
Yeah, so let's see.
I think
We left
it
at
was
like
8:30, 9 o'clock by the time we were done.
It was like 8:30, I think. Or maybe, no, I think it was 9:30.
Sun was down. Sun was down.
It was 9:30.
Okay, 9:30.
We left at 9:30 and started hiking. So we side hill across through these jack pines. We get across over the ridge, and it's like steep shale, super sketchy, especially with heavy packs because we're packing out meat and the hide. And we make it down somehow by some miracle because it was like the sketchiest thing ever. Like if we would have fallen, like, I don't know, it could have been bad. We
would have gone all the way to the river for sure.
If you would have fallen really bad, yeah, like you could have slid to the bottom. It was sketchy, but we took it slow. I was just like, in my head, I was just like, hey, just like one step at a time, like just be careful with each step. And it wasn't the worst, but it sucked because we were both just tired and sore and ready to get back. We got back, we got to the river, we took off our boots and our pants, crossed the river, and then camp was only probably another 200 yards down the trail. So we just kept our pants off and just walked Crocs and sandals, walked on the trail all the way back to camp. And we hadn't even set up the tent.
We had nothing set up.
Nothing was set up because we stashed our camp because we didn't think we'd be that long. And so we got back at midnight.
Yeah.
So it took us 2.5 hours to pack out, like probably a mile and a half, if that.
Yeah, it was not very far.
It wasn't very far, but it just sucked. So we set up camp, got the meat hung up, started a little fire, got the stove set up in the tent, and we laid down, made some dinner, and then we were going to do a podcast. I was eating dinner, I was done with dinner, and Jamin was letting his dinner cool off, and he fell asleep. So I was like, well, we'll just do the podcast tomorrow. So that's why we didn't do the podcast for day 3, because we were spent and Jamin fell asleep. So it's okay though. It was a good day. We killed a bear, and it was all like perfect on film. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So day 4 now. Today, let's recap today, Jamin. What did we do this morning?
All right, this morning we slept in for a little bit. You deboned the bear,
Yep.
and we took some pictures of the Grakksaw game bags, performed flawlessly. And then once that was taken care of, we packed camp up, and we just moved down back towards the trailhead a little ways, and we wanted to hang up the meat, let it get somewhere nice and cool, so it'll be fine for the next couple of days. And then we hiked up a different ridge to kind of get access to some more country. Set camp up, and then, well, we didn't set camp, we stashed camp, and then went and glassed from basically 6 o'clock until dark.
Yeah.
And all we saw was mule deer. So
Saw
that's
Smoke.
all right. Oh yeah, you saw Smoke. I didn't see him.
That's all right. Yeah.
And then we came back, set camp up, and
Now we're
now
chilling.
we're here.
So yeah, and we took it pretty easy. I think we were both feeling it from yesterday, and we had a good hill to climb today, super steep hill, to get up to where we're camping right now. So, and we packed the meat like halfway down to the trailhead because, well, we packed it down to the point where we split off the actual trail and went up the hill. So we packed it down and hung it up. We lashed a log across some trees, hung the meat, and then put a tarp over it to keep it shaded and dry in case it rained. And the hide also we hung up there. And then we bombed up the hill. And we probably only hiked, well, from our camp last night to camp tonight was probably 1.5 miles to 2 miles.
Yeah, not far.
Not far. And then to our glassing knob we went to tonight was probably about 3/4 of a mile from camp, I would say. So maybe 1 mile.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And good glassing spot that we've used in the past, and it's a good spot. So we packed camp all the way up to the top of this hill, so that we can kind of just be mobile on top of this big ridge that we're on, and glass off both sides and see if we can find something. So that's the plan. The next few days is just to keep moving up this ridge and see if we can find something. We have 3 more full days. Yeah, 3 more full days. Because it's Wednesday today, we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So hoping to get something done at least in the next 2 days. And it'll be good. So
Yep. Yeah, hopefully we'll get at least one more bear down. So
that's the plan. Jamin's up next for any bear we spot. Jamin's gonna, well, not any bear.
almost any bear.
Almost any bear.
As long as none of us any cubs.
Hopefully we find a nice one and we can put the hammer down on it.
Yeah.
Get a good shot. So
We're looking for hopefully a boar.
a big boar.
So we'll see what we can find.
But it'll be good. We'll update you again tomorrow. All right, it is day 5. We are here in the tent right now, and let's recap today, Jamin. Today started out. We woke up, and we kind of made a plan. We had about a 4-mile hike to our camp spot tonight from our camp yesterday, or from last night. And we wanted to glass along the way, stop at 2 or 3 glassing spots. And really today was quite uneventful. We didn't see any bears. Did we?
No. Didn't really see much of anything. I saw 3 mule deer, and that was it. So pretty uneventful. But a good day still. Made some headway to some new area, so that's good for sure. But yeah, pretty chill day.
Yeah. Pretty good. Not a ton of climbing either, which was nice. So we just made it to our camp spot. We had to trudge through some snow for a lot of the day too, so both of our boots are wet. Mine are soaked. I don't know how yours are inside, but mine are soaked inside.
Yeah.
So we got the stove in the tent going.
Got my boot dryers rolling.
Got the boot dryers.
Sick.
They're both rolling right now. Like pants and socks are hung up in the tent to dry off. So
I don't know what you were doing today. No gaiters.
yeah,
Your
I was
pants
just
all wet.
getting too hot. But yeah, they're a little wet, but they'll dry pretty quick.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I get too hot with gaiters on sometimes, so as long as the ticks aren't terrible, I'm just not going to run them. or if it's like it got to a point where they were already wet, and so if I put gaiters on, it would just be wet underneath, and I just didn't want to have that.
Fair enough.
I just decided to just go for it, which wasn't that bad. So
Yeah, my gaiters are soaked through almost. So
are they? Yeah.
Hopefully they'll dry out, but maybe not.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. So, we just got in the tent, and we have my spotting scope on the tripod set up inside the tent, and I have the MagView spotting scope adapter on my spotting scope, so it's the magnetic phone mount to video through the spotting scope. But if you flip the spotting scope upside down, you can stick your phone on it, and it's like a perfect little movie theater in the tent. So we have the spotting scope on the tripod and the spotters upside down, and we stick the phone on the MagView magnet, and it just sits there above our heads, and we get to watch a movie. So we watched a little bit of Jeremiah Johnson, just getting some inspiration for our hunt tomorrow, because we need it. And yeah,
Great hunter.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Man.
Pretty funny. So we we're finished probably watching that for now, because we're just recording this, and we're gonna go to bed because we're tired. So
we're gonna get up early, and we're gonna go find some bears tomorrow and get another bear down.
I'm hoping to kill one tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so we have 2 more full days left, and then we got to head out of here on Sunday. So, but we kind of really got to be ready to head out Saturday afternoon, just so we have enough time to pack out my bear, and if we get another bear, we need to make sure we have enough time to pack out that bear too. So, because my bear is only just stashed at the bottom of the hill here, that we're on top of. It's not even out all the way out of the trailhead yet, so we got to pack that bear out still. But it'll be good. We have some time still. We have 2 days to get it done, and where we're at, we can still probably kill Saturday and get away with it, because it's probably like, from where we're at, it's like 5 to 6 miles back to the trailhead. But most of it's on a trail, so it's not going to be that bad. So it'll be good. So we're going to hit the sack, get up in the morning, get glass in, and hopefully find a bear and get it done. All right, it is day 6. We are here in the tent right now, just finished up the day, and we're ready for bed. Let's just do a recap real quick. Today was a pretty quick day for the most part. Jamin, start us off with kind of what we woke up to and everything.
Yeah, so it started raining, I don't know, probably a little after midnight last night, and turned into snow. So this morning when we got up, there was kind of a dusting of snow on everything, and fired up the stove and got it nice and dry inside. And got all our rain gear on, and got out. It was pretty cold this morning when we were sitting at the glassing knob, so we were all bundled up for sure. But yeah, by the end of the day, a lot of that had melted off. But yeah, started off the day pretty wet for sure.
Yeah. And throughout the day, it was kind of like off and on. It would like snow and then be sunny, and then like just random stuff. So we didn't see any bears today. We got up on the glass till like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Went and packed up camp and headed down the ridge. And as we were going down the ridge, we had about 3 miles to go down. We glassed off both sides of the ridge and just couldn't find a bear. We found deer and elk, and heard like something that sounded like a bobcat. We don't know what it was, but we made it down. We found an elk shed too on the way down, and made it down to the meat that we stashed from Maya Bear. And we decided what we were gonna do is we're gonna head down to the trailhead tonight, and we're gonna head up to where we missed the bear on the first couple of days. So, because we know there's bears in there, there's 2 bears in there, and if we can get up there, if we have one more day left to hunt tomorrow, if we can get up there and find one of those 2 bears and make a play, there's a chance that we can kill it and get Jamin a bear. So hopefully it's gonna work out. But anyways, we came down the ridge today, grabbed that meat, and we still had I'd say a solid like 2 to 3 miles down to the trailhead, and so we just packed out, and it got dark on us. We made it back, and now we're just hanging out in the tent. We haven't started firing the stove yet because I don't know, we just haven't. We don't really need to, so we're probably just gonna go to bed, get up early, 6:30 in the morning, and then hike. We have about 3 miles to go to get to where we want to start glassing tomorrow, so we're gonna get up early and try to get up to the glassing knob before around 9 o'clock and see what we can find tomorrow. Since it's the last day, we're just gonna go hard and find some bears, hopefully, and if we need to hike up some hills, we'll do it, just to do whatever it takes to make it happen. So it'll be good. We will catch you guys tomorrow night. All right, it is day 7, the last day that we had to hunt here. Not a bad day. Let's hear about it, Jamin.
Yeah, it went okay. Let's see. Got up at 6:30 and decided I didn't want to get up, so I went back to sleep for another half hour. I don't know what Logan did. So I got up at 7 and got everything ready, and we were on the trail by, I don't know, it was like 7:45 or 8, and we cruised back to where we started the week off, and just went nice and easy once we got to the area, just working our way up this hillside where we had a good view of where the blonde bear and the larger black one we'd seen on last Sunday. Just eased our way up. Let's see, we got to the glassing knob at probably a little after 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, just hung out there for a while, picked up a really nice sow with 2 cubs, which was good to see because since the bear Logan's killed, we haven't seen a single bear, much less a sow with cubs. So that was good to see, that at least there is one sow with a couple offspring here. We were getting a little worried. I mean, last year, how many bears did you guys see?
Yeah, 2 years ago we saw over 30 bears, and a lot of them were sows and cubs. So
yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, compared to this year where we saw 6, maybe 7.
Yeah.
So,
but so that was good to see nonetheless. And then I think it was maybe a little after 2 o'clock. I was just getting tired of glassing and was going back and forth between looking at pictures on my phone or on the camera and going through footage to picking up the glasses and just looking around occasionally. And I put the camera down, picked up the binoculars, and literally set them on the hillside, and right in them was another black bear. This time in a spot that we hadn't seen one yet, a lot farther to the right on this, I don't know, you call that a basin?
yeah, definitely a basin, yeah.
Okay. Way on the right side. So Logan was just walking back, so we kind of checked the bear out, made sure it didn't have any cubs, and I got a tick crawling up my side.
Yeah, there's ticks everywhere. We've been picking them off us all every night.
Yeah, I just fell on my shirt. So made a game plan and made a move. Got over to that bear at
yeah, how far was he from? He was probably about 2,000 to 2,500 yards from where we were at.
Yeah, just over a mile probably.
So over a mile and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
But we had a trail that took us right to it.
oh, it was perfect. We got over there in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was actually crazy how fast we went.
Yeah, we booked it. And thankfully, the whole entire walk over, we could keep eyes on the bear.
Yeah.
So we were watching it this whole time, and it's staying right on this rock face, which was perfect. I'm like, oh, this is going to be mint. We're going to walk over, set up, and shoot it. Get to a good spot. We were at 380.
Yeah.
And we set up, and I get down. Logan gets the camera ready. I'm getting ready to shoot the bear. I dry fire once. I'm like, all right, I'm good to go. Like, we're gonna kill this bear. I load a shell in, and by the time I'm loaded, the bear has dipped behind some timber. So we're like, oh, I was pretty like bummed because I'm like, oh man, like now it's the waiting game till it comes back out again.
Yeah. Well, it like disappeared for like 30 minutes at least, I would say.
Yeah, it was a while.
So we didn't know for sure if that bear was still in the little patch of trees or if it had somehow moved off and we just didn't see that it moved off.
Was thick.
It was thick, yeah. So we were just kind of hoping that it was going to come out eventually. It was still early in the afternoon, so we had a lot of time. I wasn't really worried about it getting away from us. I was just trying to find it again.
I was.
And Jamin thought it was over.
I was like, man, this thing winded us, and it's gone. Like, I was like, we're done.
Yeah, I knew that. I thought we were fine. I was like, we just gotta find it again and we'll get on it. It's not a big deal, but so we just kept watching for it and kind of moving around the hill a little bit and seeing if we could see it. I was watching at one point and I saw I thought maybe he just bedded in these patch of trees for a little bit because they'll do that. It was afternoon, and so I was looking at this black, looked like it could have been like fur, or it was like a piece of a burnt dead branch, but I couldn't tell the difference really. And I was trying to look through the old video that I just took of this bear before we lost it, and I couldn't tell if it was the bear bedded behind a tree or not. And then all of a sudden I look up at it and the what I was looking at was gone. I was like, oh, definitely a bear. Okay, it's still in here. We're good. And then right after that it came out and we tried to get a shot again. So Jamin, you can keep telling your story.
So, our little black patch moved, and we were like, oh boy. And it was a hustle. Get everything set back up, getting ready to try and shoot. And this bear is on a mission. It's going somewhere. And as soon as I get set up and try and get someplace to take a shot, it walks right through the gap, doesn't stop at all. So move, I don't know, maybe 10 feet to another opening, get set up, and it just cruises right through that one. Logan yipped at it, and it did stop, but it just stopped in a bad spot, right with some branches covering its vitals, and wasn't gonna do that. So keeps on going. So we pick the rifle up, and my heart's racing, and me and Logan rush up the hill, and we get up. I don't know. We went from almost 400 yards to probably close to under 200.
It was 200 exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting up close, and I hadn't been up there, so I had no idea what we were looking at. And Logan's like, "Do you see him? He's right there, dang it." So I'm like, all right, find the bear. And Logan gets the tripod set up with the spotting scope, and I ended up, just to be able to get the right angle, there was a log that was down, so I ran up, kind of jumped in the snow next to it, put the gun on the log, and set the scope back down to 0 and put it right behind the shoulder, and took a couple seconds, a couple deep breaths, and pulled the trigger, and that was it. Folded right up. Didn't even take a step.
Yeah.
It was, couldn't have asked for a better ending to that wild little ride we had, trying to get a shot off.
It was a great shot. And just dumped it. It rolled down the hill like 20 feet maybe and died right there. So It was perfect. And last afternoon, we got it done. So it was pretty sweet. And then we went over there and cut it up, and we had packed it out. I measured our miles packing out, and it was almost 5.5 miles coming out. So it was quite a bit.
Yeah, and we did, on the way in, we did kind of loop around a little bit the hillside. So we might even have hit a little over.
Yeah, so total today we might have done like 11 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
11, 12 miles.
It was a good day, and
Good day.
a lot of it was on trails, so it was nice and easy.
Yeah.
I was definitely happy to take my pack off once we got back here, but couldn't have asked for a better way to end our last day out here. We both got a bear kill, we got fresh meat, and everything went well. Both shots were clean, ethical hits. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was good. So we're heading out tomorrow morning. Probably gonna cook some bear meat in the morning. And,
Yeah, we got it.
Jamin has his goal that he needs to cook some bear meat. So he's gonna do that tomorrow morning. But other than that, we're happy. It was a good trip. Excited to share it. We got it all on video and a bunch of photos. So it was a really good time. I was stoked. So thanks for coming, Jamin.
Yeah, no, thanks. Thanks for getting it set up, and it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, dude, we'll do it again
absolutely
next year probably.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for listening, you guys, and I'll do an ending here right now.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. If you have any comments or critiques, leave them in the comments below. I have a bunch of discount codes, so if you check the description on this podcast or the video, if you're on YouTube, check out all the discount codes for all the brands that I work with and am affiliated with. Everything that I have down there is stuff that I use, stuff that I love, so go check them out. There's discount codes from all sorts of things in hunting and backpacking related. So go check that stuff out, guys. Thanks for listening to this podcast, and we will catch you guys next week.